comment, bienvenue. Welcome once again to another live stream. As you may have noticed, we have the resplendent presence of Sally Inkster of Find Brand You. We talk about branding, personal branding, how it can affect your business, how to go about it, what to look out for, and all the ins and outs thereon. Today is no different. Apparently, our delightful Sally here is reconciling personal branding with cake making. Would you explain this to the simpler brain, i.e., me?
Okay, so I always make this for your brain about 8 to 12 years old. This sort of level is that? Yeah.
Please,
Yeah.
please, miss. Why is finding branding like making a cake?
Okay, so I want you to imagine that you have just moved house and you were lucky enough to have the removal men come into your old house and pack it up for you. But when it got to the other end, it was up to you.
What mysterious place is this? We've moved 4 or 5 times and we never had that luxury. But all right, moving on. Sorry.
Okay, so you've moved into the new house, but you have to unpack.
Yes.
And every time you unpack a box, you go, oh my God, I had no idea I had that. I'd forgotten all about it.
Yeah.
Okay. And you go, where's that going to go? Oh, stick it in the storeroom. So for storeroom, read larder, however, but just stick it in that room. Okay. Just in the cupboard that I don't see very often. Yeah. Oh God, I've forgotten I got that. Stick that in that cupboard.
We have a drawer called the big drawer. That's where it goes.
Yeah. Okay, so eventually you probably end up with sort of an ingredients cupboard full of food and spices and sugars and flours and pastas and all those sort of things. So we'll imagine that and we'll have that as your sort of pantry larder.
Okay.
And your storeroom of odds and sods, where you keep your vases and plates, that sort of thing. Now, I want you to imagine that those boxes are a bit like your house. So when we come to making a personal brand, to make our personal brand look fantastic and be clear and get the message across, we want to choose the ingredients from the store cupboard and the pantry of our life. Okay? Are you with me so far?
I'm with you so far.
Okay, right, so that's it.
I've got cupboards and drawers full of crap within which are the ingredients to make stuff.
Yes, that's it. And that is what our lives are like, because we have had a childhood, we've been to school, we've learned things, we've been to university, we had this job, we had our first job, we had a job we hated, we had a job we loved, and we had this career, and now we're probably in business for ourselves.
And a second childhood and a third childhood. Yes, okay, go on, yes.
So we now are going to make a cake. So let's call the cake a bit like our shop front. Okay, we're going to put this cake out on the shop front. So when people go past, they go, oh my God, that cake looks wonderful. Let's go into that shop. Yeah, right. So that's really what your brand is. Your branding is that cake you make that looks beautiful, that makes people go, I want to learn more about him, her, or eat more of that cake.
So the brand is the cake?
Yes, the branding is the cake. What you see is the branding. The ingredients in that cake is the brand. And the marketing is the fact that you've put it in the shop, at the front, at the window, and people walk past and they see it.
So the branding is my hat?
Yes. The branding is your hat, but the brand is that your personality is a little bit quirky and you show it in your hat.
Right. And so my hat's a cake, really?
Yes. Okay, so let's carry on with the analogy.
You went down this rabbit hole, Sally Inkster.
If you let me get there, you will understand why.
All right,
so we have this cake and it looks beautiful and people go, oh God, I'm going to go in and try a piece of cake. So when we are making our brand, we understand that we have lots and lots of stuff that we can tell people about.
Yes.
But it's a bit like saying, okay, I'm going to make a cake and I'm just going to get everything out of my store cupboard. So I'm going to get all the ingredients in there. So in my cake, I will put sugar and flour and salt and chili and pears and, a tin cherries and
blimey,
some pasta. Okay.
So that's a cake.
That's a cake, and actually, it looks not very good. It looks very confusing, and you
Yeah.
think, why on earth would you put those two together? It's going to taste horrible. Why would I ever want to go in there and have it? So
Right.
So when you are making a personal brand, you want clarity, and you want it to look good, and you want the right things to be shown. And so let's say I'm going to make a chocolate cake with strawberries on top. I'm going to go into my ingredients and I'm going to pick the best flour. I'm going to pick, oh, there's some nice cocoa powder. There's some 80% chocolate. Let's put that in. And then we've got some icing sugar. Let's put that in. And the sugar, let's put that in. And so we then go, okay, well, we've got these ingredients out of my store cupboard, and I'm for now going to make this cake. And I'm going to layer it with a lovely fondant icing of chocolate. And then I'm going to put a few edible flowers on the top. I'm going to put it in the window, and that will attract people in. And when people come in, they go, oh, I love the chocolate cake, but do you do any others? And you say, do you know, there is so much else I can make. Would you like a lemon drizzle cake? Or would you like tuna pasta? What would you like? And then they go, ah, right, okay. So
I'm sort of getting it now. All right. So the cake on the outside is a more come to me cake.
Yes.
And then once you're through the doors, you say, you like this cake? Boy, you gonna like these. Okay. So the cake on the outside, I guess it doesn't have to have all the facets of all the other. I'm really labouring this cake metaphor.
Well, it does, because you can't make a cake unless you have all the important ingredients.
Right.
Okay. You can't. I mean, you can make a cake without eggs, but let's not go too far.
Well, let's not go there, please.
Yeah. To make a cake, you have to have cake making ingredients.
Right.
Okay? You're not going to make a cake with pasta. All right. You're going to make a cake with cake making ingredients. So those are the things that need to go into it. But you could also say, well, actually, because I'm making this cake, but also I have this really wonderful cake stand in my store cupboard. So I could bring this cake stand out and put that cake on my cake stand, because that's another thing that I know people out there would like to see, because it gives the cake a bit of height, and then smaller people or taller people will be able to see it. And I can put that into my personal brand as well, because your personal brand is to show people who you are and what you're made of, really. And that's what a cake does. Once they come to you, then they can start learning more things about you, and learning that in your store cupboard, you have lots of other things that you can do. You can help with them. You can make for them.
Right.
Okay. You ask me questions now, because you still sound a little confused.
No. I'm beginning to get it. I'm just trying to see how it would apply to everyone, because there's some general principles here, aren't there?
Oh, there are. You can do it in a career. Even if you're a career person and you want to go for that top job or the next level up, okay? And the next level up wants managerial skills. Now, in your store cupboard, 5 years ago, you remember that you had organised a team building, and you had to run the whole weekend, blah, 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 blah. And you had put in so many managerial skills during that time, but it'd been sitting in your store cupboard. And you think, because this is where I want to go, putting that into my cake would be a really good idea.
Well, it would be at least to show on the outside surface of the cake that you have that facet.
Exactly.
So this very confusing cake made out of everything but not pasta is there to draw people in, but not necessarily tell the whole story, right?
Yeah. You can't tell the You can't tell the whole story in one sentence, in a bit of.
I see a lot of people try to. A lot of networking events, they spill their entire life. By the end, you're thinking, well, you seem like you could do a little bit of something, but I'm not entirely sure what it is you can do to help me. Exactly. I suppose. So is it about making it so that it's very clear, at least what neck of the woods you're from, what you're about?
to make it very clear that it's a chocolate cake or it's a lemon cake or it's
Right. Right.
Now, the other really important thing is that when they come in, you're going to have samples of that cake. And when they taste that cake, it has got to taste delicious. It's no good just looking good.
Yeah, it's going to taste as good as the story it's selling, right?
Exactly. So if you can get it. I'm glad you like it. That's good.
No, it's great. It's good. It's good. Actually, I've never heard it. It's making me hungry.
You've
But
never heard of it because I made it up. So
okay. Copyright Sally Inkster. But so the thing is, see, if I'm going to take this, I'm going to run with this. I shouldn't run with a cake, but okay, I'm going to run with this analogy.
Yep.
Which is the outside surface of the cake, which is the bit that attracts you in.
Yes.
Might look amazing. In fact, there used to be a Polish bakery. I don't think it's all Polish bakery, this particular Polish bakery. The cakes used to be almost day glow colors and just amazing. But when you tasted them, they just tasted bland.
Yeah,
so you've got to make sure that the inside continues the story that the outside's selling, right?
Yes. Because if it looked like a chocolate cake on the inside, okay, and then you cut into it, had a mouthful, and it was macaroni cheese.
Yeah.
So when they cut into that chocolate cake that looks fantastic, number one, it's got to taste of chocolate. Number two, it's got to taste of very, very good chocolate. And if you possibly can, the most unique chocolate cake you've ever had.
I'm going to keep running with the cake. It can't be that it's like you've iced up a blank Tesco's own blank cake.
And that is what so many people do.
Yes, they do. Okay. Yes, they do.
Okay, we need to make a cake because it needs to go at the front of the shop. Okay, so we need it to. Oh God, it wants to be chocolate. Okay, just put some chocolate around there, and we'll stick some strawberries on the top and some chocolate flakes.
Yeah, we'll do all that skillfully and make it look beautiful. But when they actually cut into it, it's just basic sponge, and there's just nothing to it, right?
There's nothing to it because quite often when people make a cake being their business, they put it out there, but they've forgotten to do the deep work of working out what ingredients they have, great ingredients that they have in their store cupboard that they have used in making that, has gone into that brand, into that cake.
Getcha. All right, cool. So, all right, could you have multiple cakes representing you?
You could. So in the window, in the shop window, you could have a chocolate cake, a lemon drizzle cake,
fruit cake. It's my favorite.
Fruit cake. Yeah, you could have a fruit cake. But you could also have, let's say, quiche, and you could have the macaroni cheese, and you could have all those in the shop window. Okay, people are going past, and they'd start to get hungry, but they'd go, "Oh God, I'm a bit overwhelmed. I'll just go home and have a tea cake."
Yeah, I've actually done that myself. The agony of choice. I've gone home and just grabbed a little bit of a sponge. So, are you saying from that you can create overwhelm if you give too many choices up front?
Yes, absolutely. Because as humans, we don't cope with choices very well. We have to make a decision. We're not very good at making decisions.
Yeah. I think we're best at when the decisions are binary. If they're worse than binary, then we could get stuck in the agony of choice.
Exactly. And we all know that, if you're going to sell something, you can sell 3 of it, but people will always buy the middle one. So you're not really giving them a choice because they'll always go for the middle. So
I have a bronze, silver, and a gold option, and most people buy the silver.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
most people buy the silver.
So again, you're sort of not giving them a choice because they know they're going to go for the middle one because it's going to be too expensive, and the bottom one isn't. That they're worth more than that, so they'll go for the middle one. So that's neuroscience and psychology come into that as well.
Right.
And being a great chef comes into this whole,
Yeah, but the thing about being a great chef, I think, is that it's not just superficial.
Oh no,
that the story, and it's not just that it almost wants to be better on the inside than you thought it might be just from looking on the outside.
Exactly. Because the other thing that is in that cake from the baker or the chef or whatever it is passion, is absolute love and passion and belief that their cake is superb. You need to come in and try it. And, I want you to try it so much. I'm going to give you a little bit free. And when you understand how superb my chocolate cake tastes, you're going to want to take the whole one home to share with your family.
So, ladies and gentlemen, after that cake-filled show there, thank you, Sally Inkster. I am going to go straight out and buy myself some chocolate cake, which is probably not good for my diet, but I'm really hungry now. It turns out that making a cake is very much like building a brand. You've got to make sure that the outside shouts all about it, and so does the inside. Who knew? Thank you very much, Sally. If I sounded confused at the beginning of that, I was. But by the end of it, I'm pretty straightened out, I think. And if I can understand it, I am hoping that all of you do too. Thank you so much, Sally, for that. For all the rest of you watching, remember, keep your feet on the ground, but keep reaching for the stars. Finding your brand can be really fundamental in you understanding where your goodness lies, because it's not just going to be on the outside, it's going to be on the inside too. And on that bombshell, I wish you all good night, and remember, look after that mental health. Bye-bye now.
Take care.